there's something which is very important that people don't talk about. And that thing is what I'm going to talk about today. It's about food. We all eat food. We all do, different kind of stuff for food, but we will never come to a point of analyzing the food that we consume on a daily basis. My name is CaptainShaver, and welcome to the show. So, without wasting much of your time, I'd like to talk about food and the impact it has in our lives and what kind of food are we supposed to be consuming. So, this is just a piece of advice, and I'd just like to give, you know, to everybody watching this show that we really have to be cautious about the food that we consume because I believe there's a bunch of chemicals that are being, injected in this, food that we're actually eating on a daily basis. There's a bunch of, artificial kind of substance, artificial type of substance, chemicals that are being used to process this food that is then causing diseases after we consume this kind of food for a very, very long time. And I believe that everybody else is actually consuming all this kind of food. So I don't think there's anybody who's being, spared unless you are eating organic, unless you're keeping it, real and, you know, like people back in the day used to, what I'm talking about. So if you like, you try to like, if you try to look at people in Africa, some of those people in Africa they've got an advantage because there's one thing I know in Africa, there's one thing that actually we actually grew up thinking maybe people who has get access to this, fancy food that is being processed by these industries, they are kind of rich and stuff, but we didn't know the impact it has because uh, if you got money, you have the possibility, you have the ability, you have the access to all this kind of food because they need you to buy, they need you to buy this kind of products. And I believe this is one of the reasons why there's a bunch of information about these kind of food substances that we actually consume today. And that is one of the reasons why we're actually, getting sick almost in a daily basis. This new evolving kind of diseases that never existed back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So the impact that this food is actually having on our health is these diseases, this is common diseases like diabetes, these heart problems that people actually have. So that's one of the things that I would like to talk about. So I know that people have got different views, and that's the reason why we create talk shows, baby. So we're gonna share any kind of view that you have about food. That is what we're going to discuss about. All these things are for money purposes. Now I would like to just go straight to the point because these industries that are making this kind of food, you know what? They're only targeting profits, you know what I'm saying? So they're no longer worried about people's health. All they know is just production, production, production. People get to consume. Next thing we produce another product. We produce a bunch of products. People consume, people consume, people consume until a society is messed up. You get what I'm saying? People are not getting sick every day, new evolving, type of disease and all that kind of stuff. They never used to exist. They never existed, back in the day when people used to eat organic stuff and shit. But anyway, in Africa, there's a big advantage that people have because organic food is very, very accessible to anybody. You get what I'm saying? People live in farms, something like that. We've got, a bunch, huge markets that actually sells organic foods. I know there is some kind of, problem that actually having that is related to this organic thing because now we've got genetically modified seeds and all that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that later, but we just want to give a summary on what we're going to talk about, which is food. So we really have to be wise. You have to check in the ingredients before you put something inside your mouth. Just go up on the internet, check, if you look at it, the sodium and all the kind of stuff, all the I don't know what they call the preservers of food, these chemicals they put in the food so that it can actually last for longer periods of time. Those are one of the major problems we're actually having in the food industry, something like that. Because those chemicals, if those chemicals are consumed for a longer period, they end up causing diseases such like diseases like that, the diseases that we now have, like some of them even cause cancer, something like that. So there's a bunch to food industry, and there's a bunch of information that is actually hidden from everybody. You get what I'm saying? So that people don't know about these chemicals, so that you just keep on consuming. So we're going to talk about this, and that's one of the reasons why we have a show like this one because we're actually getting deep, deep down with truth. You feel me? We don't want people to consume shit that they'll cause them, dreadful diseases, something like that. We don't want that. We want a society full of healthy people. You have got to wake up. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be physically fit, mentally fit, and what spiritually, yeah, fit. What I'm talking about. If there's a point that you need to to do yoga, baby. I'm a Muslim. If you got a better day, I got a special way of meditating. That is my prayer. You know what I'm saying? So there's a bunch of food, and this is exactly what we're going to talk about. So this was just a summary, and we're going to dig deeper in the full episode of this thing. Peace, everybody. Love you all.